I haven't been able to make videos about Barcelona for the past week, really. So I'm just gonna really do a review about what's happened since the Chelsea game, where Barca got destroyed 3-0 and had, one of the worst performances I've ever seen. Since then, Barca played against Alaves at home in the past weekend. I think it was on Saturday, and overall, nothing much to say about this, but it was a decent game. I couldn't really watch it. I really watched the highlights in some moments, but Barcelona, I think they still conceded way too many chances. Two big chances, 1.6 xG against a team like Alaves. I think it's a bit too much, and I know this Barca team with this system, you expect to concede this many chances and shots and goals and whatever. But against a team like Alaves, especially, they scored in the first minute. I think it's things like that have to be rectified if Barca want to compete against the bigger teams. But Yamal had a decent game. Olmo was starting to pick up some really serious form. He had a good game with Spain in the past international break. He came back and he was slowly but surely picking up form. Bernal also got some minutes, his first start since he got injured, and you can tell he's missing that agility. He's missing that match fitness. And he seems a bit scared to even go into challenges, maybe because of the injury. But there's something missing there, so he still has to be eased in. Um, that was Rafinha's first start, and he assisted the goal for um, I think it was Yamal and or was it Yamal or one of the Olmo goals? Either or, Rafinha had an assist as a starter, and he is very important to this team. Gerard Martin's been playing left center back recently. You could tell Flick really wants this left-footed center back, and it's very important to his system. And now that we're gonna go talk about the game against Atletico Madrid yesterday, we'll see that again. Now, between that, Madrid actually dropped points against Girona away. Now, the fact that Barca's even first place in this league, whether Madrid wins today against Bilbao or not, the fact that Barca are first place, with these performances, is crazy. Like, Madrid have not been good either. Atletico Madrid picked up form a bit too late, and Villarreal are Villarreal. They're a very good team, but they just missed that extra edge to be actual contenders for number one. But the fact that Barca are first, it's crazy. But if we go to the game against Atletico Madrid yesterday, this was a starting lineup that Hansi Flick opted for. Jean Garcia in goal, Kunde at right back, Kubarsi at center back, Jean Martin left center back, Balde, a pivot of Pedri, Eric Garcia, and then the traditional attack that they started last season with Rafinha, Olmo, Yamal, and Lewandowski. Now we have to talk about numerous players here, and this performance. But before I start with this game, what I also want to touch on is Ronald Araujo, who has not even played or trained, I think, since the Chelsea game. Now I get the whole mental health thing and whatever, but if you're the or one of the captains of a club of this caliber and something like a red card affects you that much where you can't play or train, I mean, yeah, mental health, but you've got to figure it out because that is actually like crazy to me, especially as a captain. If it was a random young player, okay, but as a captain, like that is unbelievable. But anyways, so Barca Atletico Madrid, Barca had a very tough game. Atletico Madrid have been in good form recently. They didn't start the season well, but they're in good form now. And somehow they had four big chances, but less than one xG. So Atletico Madrid could have had more goals, but the same goes for Barca. They could have had more goals, but this performance was a bit more controlled for some parts of the game. At some parts, it became a bit too much of a trampoline session, and I don't really like that. People can say, "Oh, I like this because of the Hansi Flick system, the attacking football, and whatever." That's not my style. I like control. I like Pep style. I like Luis Enrique style. But there's important things here regarding some players. Lewandowski, outside of the some of the movements he had in the area, the header against that that Oblak saved. It was a good movement for that, but it was a crazy save from Oblak. He should still be scoring that, and he had a I guess decent involvement for the winning goal for Olmo. But other than that, it was literally diabolical. And if you look at his rating, 5.4 is no joke when it comes to a bad rating. Like 5.4, the number is crimson red. Like that's not a good rating at all. he had two big chances missed. One of them was a penalty where if the Camp Nou wasn't finished, if they were just playing on the pitch, the ball's going to the moon. Like like it was a weird penalty. I don't know. He shot it well. He didn't slip, but it went so high up that you can't even calculate how high it's gonna go before it drops. So yeah, that was weird. But overall, Lewandowski a very bad performance, and I mean, just not good enough. His touches weren't good enough. Not good in the link up play. Like he had 63% pass accuracy. Like just not good enough. And his age is coming to him. You know, he can get these goals every now and again. He can have a decent performance every now and again. But he's not the Lewandowski of old. And you know, it's just the age catching up to him. Dani Olmo, like I said, picking up some serious form. And even though the rating for the game against Alaves for him was a 9.5, today was an 8 point. Yesterday was an 8.5. I think this was his best performance this season. And of course, when he scores the goal, not after, as he scored the goal against Atletico Madrid to win the game, he fell awkwardly and he dislocated his shoulder, which is, I mean, typical Olmo, just get injured out of nowhere. And it's a shame because when he's in form, when he's playing well, he's a very very important piece to this team. And to be injured now like that, it wasn't even like, at least, okay, you got a contact injury, slight pull of the muscle, you're out for a week or two. I mean, dislocated shoulder, he's out for a month, at least until January. So it's unfortunate. And when he is playing in form, he's one of my favorite players. But I mean, hopefully he comes back, and this injury specifically, because it is upper body, doesn't affect his form. But something else I want to say: the rating doesn't justify this player. Pedri 7.9. He should have had a 9.2. You cannot understate the importance of Pedri for this team, because he came back here today. Sorry, he came back here today, and he was out for a month, supposedly. I think it was a month, 3 weeks, whatever it was. Pedri was out for a month, and the importance to him for this team is ridiculous. I mean, he comes in and he is running the midfield. Finally, Barcelona not only have a bit more control, but he is running the midfield. He's creating. He is moving up. He's running. He's running for basically three players. That's how much running he does, and the control he brings. You compare this midfield performance from Pedri. You watch De Jong against Chelsea, and it's literally night and day. You watch De Jong against Chelsea, and the midfield's like loo, doo. They don't know what they're doing. It's just a complete joke. Pedri over here, actual midfielder, a real midfielder. And I mean, he is just unbelievable footballer. And he went off injured. Apparently, Flick said he was just tired. Hopefully it's not a relapse, because if he's injured again and it's a relapse, this club can, call December quits. But yeah. Also, another thing is Rafinha got the goal. Very important piece to this team. Very important piece to the press. He just makes people around him better because of his intensity. The amount of running, the amount of pressing he does makes everybody else, or most players around him, better. And a good goal from him. Pedri with a great assist to him. Just a very important piece of this team. Gerard Martin, once again, like I said before, started left center back, and he has. You can see where he is good. You can see why Flick likes him, but he's missing some minerals in terms of pace and agility, and some of it. Sometimes on the ball, he has a bit of a blood rush to the head where he makes these passes where he tries to break the line forward, but it was really never on that pass. And he would be a very good backup for a left center back, but Barca still have to go into the market for somebody like Schlotterbeck, and ASAP, they need to get somebody like Schlotterbeck, because he would bring this defense up and team up because of how good he is on the ball, another level. Kubarsi, I don't know what that rating is. He had a very, very, very poor game. I mean, he was getting spun around. He kept Baena on for Atletico Madrid's goal early on, and he just wasn't good enough. And it was actually very it wasn't even not good enough. He was actually shameful. Koundé had a bit of a better performance than usual. I mean, he's been very shocking this season, but he had a decent performance last game. Yamal had a decent performance, but he still has to do better with his possession. I mean, John Garcia, very important. Didn't have to make too many saves. I think he had just one save, but very important with the managing the space and behind the defense with how high Barca plays and coming out to possibly stop the one-on-one runners that opponents put through on goal. So yeah, intense pressure from Atletico Madrid at the end of the game, and Barca did well, you can say, to not concede, even though Atletico Madrid should have scored. I mean, Almada off the bench had an insane chance to score. He put it wide. Griezmann had an insane chance to score, and he couldn't hit the ball well. So you can say Barca got lucky. That goes to an extent with the shots that Atletico Madrid had at the end. I also think Barca should have had more goals too. Ferran Torres came off the bench, and you know he was decent. He got the goal. He didn't have to do much. I think Rashford was a bit better off the bench in terms of impact. I know he was helping Barca on the counter as Atletico Madrid were pressing, and he was a big part of that third goal. Doe had some minutes, decent, nothing crazy. Casado had some minutes. I mean, didn't do much. And Christensen came on at the end for the last few minutes to basically have another defender on the pitch. The point is that Barca now are first. Madrid play a big game away at San Mamés against Bilbao, and we're entering now the mid stage of the season where you really want to start going towards that part of your team or that moment where your team peaks, because we're entering that stage where December to February you really want to start figuring things out. You really want to start getting people back from injury and see if you can go far, like in the big competitions like the Champions League or the Copa del Rey or whatever. But yeah, the main points are: look, Olmo had some serious form. Unfortunately, he was injured, and the importance of Pedri to this team, I mean, it just can't be understated, because you look at De Jong's performance against Chelsea, for example, and the midfield wasn't, forget, non-existent. I mean, they weren't even a concept in the minds of humanity. So yeah, Pedri very important, and look, Barca now have to build on this, and there's still important improvements to be had in the performance department. You can't just win a game and you're the best team in the world now. They still have to improve performance wise, but that was a bit better against a bit better of an opponent from Barcelona, and yeah, I think I won't be able to make a game directly right away after the game this weekend, but after this weekend I'll be able to have some more consistency in terms of uploads and just making videos about football in general, maybe do some TikTok lives. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.